Oh, here it is. Alrighty. Good morning, everybody. Como allez-vous? How are you? My name is Wayne McDonald. I will be your guide on this journey we call Forex. Thank you for being part of the Forex.Today YouTube community of more than 20,000 foreign exchange traders. We gather here today to conduct technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of learning how to plan our trades in advance. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, never risk money you cannot afford to lose. So good to see you. How you doing? Huh? Do I look okay? Do I have it? Did I nail it? Oh, I nailed it. Oh, nice. So I think that's a good sign. It looks like I got risk on hair. Risk on hair day. So the market seemed to be wanting to go up. That's kind of interesting. Okay. And I hear a lot about the Fed only raising by 25 basis points. And gee whiz, it looks like I'm wrong on my analysis of, not the analysis of economic data, but the interpretation of it. I think the Fed could, I don't know, raise by 50 basis points, and that's just not what's happening. So maybe I got that one wrong. Holy smokes. Well, the good thing is I'm not losing a boatload of money being wrong, and I'm trying to teach you that. I want you to do okay when you're losing and do great when you're winning. So anyways, I can't always be right, but we'll see. Yeah, the rally that won't die. Well, I'm not fighting it, I guess, is the lesson there. But yeah, FX Exchange says it's 25 basis points. I can see that. It's priced in. But, interesting. So there's no more Fed speak because we're in the blackout period. But anywho, interesting. So if you're going to learn anything, it's how to survive when your bias and the market disagree. Cool. That's a good lesson. It really honestly is a good lesson. So I hope you take it for that. Maybe you don't believe that at all. But anywho, look, in the description below the video, there's 3 links I'd like you to visit. One is to my book. You can buy it if you want. You can buy it used. You can buy it new. It's not even my book. I only wrote it. The book is owned and published by Wiley Publishing. But it'd be great if you left a review. That'd be great. Would you do that, please? The second thing is I really do want you to join FX Bootcamp. It's not very expensive. I believe the resources are truly helpful. And the community we have there is second to none. Today is the swing trading group meeting, and it's the favorite day of the week for me. Last time we went a little too long. It was 4.5 hours. Oh my God. But we did focus on 2 things. China reopening thematic, because we focused on thematic trading. So there was a China reopening theme, and the other one was a U.S. recession theme. And we spent hours going through these types of setups. Okay, Bola. What's going on, Meta? So FX Exchange says the Fed is going to follow the Bank of Canada. Isn't that funny? Hey, what do you want to do, Jay Powell? I don't know. Let's call Canada. It's just not an American mindset. But anyways, yeah, I mean, it looks like that's what's going to happen, FX Exchange. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, we'll see what happens. Whatever your opinion on the Fed, yeah. Are they going to? Yeah, I mean, look, they're not going to follow the Bank of Canada, but they could pivot to a slower rate of change. But anyways, and lastly, the link in the description is Trader's Way. They're a foreign exchange broker. We all need one. So the first thing you want to do is you want to see how fast their execution is. otherwise the broker is slipping and making money on the slippage. So they're doing something against you to make money, you see? So you want a broker that has fast execution speed and little to no slippage. Then the second thing is you want cost effectiveness. You don't want to be overcharged, right? Either through commissions, like an ECN, or through a spread, okay? And right, and then third, you want to get paid your swaps. Many brokers will charge you negative swap either way, okay? All of those. So if you look at Trader's Way, they have great execution speed. They're very competitive in the fees, and some of the swaps are just great, amazing. So all of that checks the right boxes. So you should consider Trader's Way. But when you choose your broker, it will come down to trust, and they've earned my loyalty and respect. So maybe that will help you decide to maybe check them out for yourself. Tradersway.com. We're going to do nat gas today. I keep forgetting to do nat gas, so I already got the chart fired up from last night. Hang on, let me drink some water. Thursday is drink water day. Every other Thursday. Oh, the coffee I'm drinking is just so over roasted. Oh my God. Okay, so we'll do some nat gas a little bit later. Let's start with the indices. Look at this. We do have a little bit of US dollar strength. Okay, not a lot, but that's kind of what I'm looking for. Okay, just a little bit. Of course, it's a lower low. Okay, so the trend still looks like this, but some up is welcomed. Okay, here's our China reopening play that we did at the Swing Trading Group 1 week ago. So that is climbing really nicely. Okay, yen is settled down and maybe is starting to rise again. Well, we know a few things, huh? Once again, guys, if you're not in my live trading groups, you should really join. We know an event is coming up, and it might be shocking. It might not be shocking. It's not the Bank of Japan interest rate decision, by the way. Quantitative. We're focused on qualitative. And anyway, something's coming up, and this yen strength is not surprising at all. And, well, whatever. That's all I'm saying. Whatever. That could lead to something. But I wouldn't sell Aussie yen if the yen starts to strengthen. So you'd have to find something else. Okay. Right now we have a risk on world. So pound is gaining strength again. Euro's trying to stabilize, but it was very, very, very strong. CAD was very, very weak and now is kind of trying to maintain some, right? And so, look, not amazing trends here, except for Aussie, I'd say. Aussie's the best one right now. Not amazing trends on this time frame. And it shows you that, well, we got some pretty important events coming up in the next 7 to 10 days. And people are trying to make decisions. Now, when you look at the longer time frame, give you, basically zoom up, look from outer space, from your Orion satellite. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Yen is trending up and now maybe trying to find some up. Dollar is generally just weak as all can be. Oh, dang it. Aussie doing very well. So Aussie versus US dollar is a good one, right? Aussie versus CAD is a good one. Again, one of the things we were talking about late last week, was keeping an eye on whether pound can maintain some up off that trend line. Looks like it's trying. That's good. And remember, these are longer term charts. That's a good play. You could use that and say game on based on a lower high. No, a higher low. Okay? Because if this holds, let's say, and we have this on the shorter time frame, what do we have on the longer time frame potentially? You see the importance of that? Wow, is that just terrible coffee? Amazing. All right, so I suggest we do gold, oil, and Bitcoin next, and also, oh, thank you, Henry. Yeah, South Africa's jacked up interest rates. Yeah, okay, we'll look at that. The Cuban coffee is amazing. Yes, Cuban coffee is noticeably good. And I'm a coffee snob. I'm like, yeah, it's good. You're like, good. Yeah. All right, so I suggest we go over gold, oil, and Bitcoin and natural gas. I guess we'll start with my oh my WTI. Okay, boom, boom, just like that. Okay, so I've been scalping a little bit. Long at 81. That's all. So you can see it's a breakout pullback type scalp. I already have stop at break even. Nothing more to say about that. I usually don't have scalps going on, but sorry. You can see, okay, that this area was a top. You have the higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? I bought the pullback, and now it's up. It's made a new fractal pivot. Down, should hit this roll reversal. See, what it should do now is stay above that area and produce up. And if so, I get paid. If not, if it collapses and goes back down to the moving average, I lose nothing. That's interesting, mate. I don't think I would have received that the places I went to, but that sounds really interesting, actually. No, what I explain to my friends and family is that anything Cuban is good and cheap, like dirt cheap. So it looks like I'm going back, and I'm going to take some friends. And one of my friends is German, and he said something about beer, and I'm like, you're not drinking beer in Cuba. Don't go to, I mean, the Cuban beer is actually, I liked it. But drink the rum. Drink the coffee. Another thing going on here, for those that took the oil trading course, you can see the breakout strategy from the trap. So I taught oil traders how to trade at this particular time. That's what this box is. It's drawn automatically. And anyway, so for those that took the course, you're like, oh yeah, I see it. I see it. Cool. Alrighty, so that's that. Not doing very well on my S&P 500. It's not falling, although yesterday it fell down into the daily 21 and held. So it looked really good until that moment. That's right. And so I got to about break even, and now I'm back to kind of where we were. And I don't know, it smells like a risk on day. So we'll see if Bitcoin can lead that way. Is it going to be risk on or risk off? Well, it looked risk on, oh, for show earlier today. Then check that out. We hit the weekly projected high, $23,686.80. And the whole market collapsed. That tells me that we're using the right tools to trade this asset. Okay? Okay, so this is kind of what I'm hoping for now, but on this hourly time frame, if you're a bull, you'd be buying this area here, and you're taking it north. Okay, that would be the just price action type traders. Pivot points traders will tell you this is the place where you take profit and get out. So many people would look at this and say, okay, all the bulls that we had here are, many of them are gone. And so that could lead to vulnerability. Not necessarily that it's going to change direction, but you're more vulnerable now than ever, because this red candle is not sellers. That red candle is buyers. I want you to think about that and how that leads to the psychology. The psychology of the market. Okay? This red candle is buyers taking profit. So maybe they buy here, but if they don't, it leads to vulnerability, right? More could take profit and it goes down a little bit. And if that happened, then bears would show up and sell the shoulder, wouldn't they? What would you do if you were a bear? Maybe sell something like that, huh? So we'll see. We'll see. But I like to use Bitcoin is a risk on, risk off type asset, a canary in a coal mine, and holy smokes. So it's been up, but it might stop. And then let's take a look here. Let's go to a smaller time frame. And this is falling. So we talked about this last night in the day trading group. And we are waiting for government approval for nat gas to spike. Meta says the coffee that regular Cubans drink. That sounds really good. It'd be so nutty. That'd be so nutty. Toasted green peas. I don't like the 1/4. How about 1/4 green beans sounds better than 3/4. But I'll see if I can find some here. Café de la Bodega. Well, see, we talked about this in the day trading group. Hang on a second. There we go. And the reason it's $3 here and $58. Well, how about this? Let me ask you, FX Chain, or anybody. Let me ask the audience. Now, if you're in my day trading group, don't answer the question. Okay. But for everybody else, what is one major contributing factor for natural gas being less than $3 in the United States and more than $50 in Europe? Why is there such a incredibly radically different price? Well, Santiago, price, supply and demand should find equilibrium. Why don't we have equilibrium? Reserve release, well, that's for crude oil, Tim, but not for natural gas. Jordan says Russian price, government support, winter in Europe. Well, I want you to think about this, guys. Let me give a different example, and then we'll come back. Okay, let's say this is the European price for oil, 87. What's the American price for oil? 81. So there's a slight difference, $6 difference, but not a 500% difference. So what's going on? There's a slight difference in European and American oil, but a radical difference. Transportation costs, geopolitical events, yeah. Well, the main thing right now, not the main thing, but one major contributing factor is that there was a large fire many months ago, I think back in February or March of last year. There was an accident at the Freeport facility, which is for compressing natural gas into a liquid. So there's a liquefaction plant. And the whole point is you bring your nat gas in to the plant, you liquefy it through compression and chilling it, and then it's a port. You put it onto a ship and you send it to Europe. Okay? But it was damaged and taken offline. So that means there's less supply, right? No. No, because when you're not selling it, then you build up inventory. So you get more and more inventories, price comes down. You have more natural gas than Americans need, so price comes down. Okay? Great. So the port has been fixed. It's fixed. The company, yeah, I suppose you could consider it midstream. Sure. You can consider it like transportation. Sure. Okay. So the company has repaired the facility. It's taken many months. And now they've applied to the government compliance and safety people to get re-permitted for converting gas into a liquid and putting it onto a ship. So guess what might happen? I want you to think about logic. This is a trade. We're talking about money. How does money work? Okay, so pay attention to this. I don't know if this gets taught anywhere else. Okay, cool. So let's say at some point in the next few days, next few weeks, the government gives them clearance to reopen. Boom, back in business. What's going to happen to natural gas prices? We're going to be able to dump natural gas onto the market. We have this huge inventory to dump onto the market. Santiago says fall. What do you think? Type in a question mark if you find this fascinating, or try to answer the question. There's all this pent-up natural gas waiting for months on end, like almost 9 months. Okay? Now, this is a trade. This is something that a hedge fund would do, by the way. All right, let's talk about it. This is macroeconomics at its best, I think. All right, so the Americans will be able to compress natural gas, put it on a ship. Where is the ship going? Not Ukraine. They don't even have facilities. Okay. But Europe. Okay, great. I said in Europe right now, they're paying more than $50. So what's going to happen to prices in Europe? I think we said it was $58 in Holland yesterday. Well, I like what Santiago says, stabilize. Don't say collapse or big fall. Don't overdo it. Yeah, down. And maybe significantly, okay? Like that's as far as you should go, right? But the idea is that new supply will hit a market and prices will fall. Okay, great. So you could maybe short European natural gas. Now, Americans have to buy this stuff at $2.75. But then they have to pay to compress it. Then they have to pay to ship it all the way to Europe on specialized ships. So let's say it costs them $5 to get the energy and transport it to Europe. Okay, so now the cost is $5. The price currently is $50. You have to understand that Americans are not going to sell it for $5. That's what their cost is. And right now the market's more than $50. So yes, by them entering the market, yes, European prices are going to fall. But what if they fall all the way down to $25? Do you think an American will be happy shipping natural gas to Europe? Their out-of-pocket cost is $5, and they sell it to Europeans for $25. Do you think they will be happy with that? Do you think Americans will be happy with that deal? Would they sign the contract? The next side of the equation, do you think the Europeans will be happy? They're paying $58 right now, but they sign a contract with an American firm for $25. Do you think the Europeans are going to be happy? So what's the trade the hedge fund could do? You could long American nat gas and short European nat gas. Okay? Maybe you invest into the Freeport company if you wanted, because maybe they're going to start, start back up, make some money. Maybe you want to do the shipping company. I don't know. But that leaves us with the potential. I don't know what American nat gas will do, but it could very quickly be very much significantly higher because Americans will not be selling to Americans. Okay? Americans will be selling their nat gas to Europeans. And it could happen immediately where this goes like from 2.5 to suddenly 10. You're like, 10? How can you go from 2.5 to 10? But you also have to put it into context. I'm on a weekly chart. I can only get this to show 13. Okay, Europe right now is paying 58. Like, holy schnicker-schnocker, huh? Like, I can't even get 13 on the chart if I tried. And Europe right now is only paying 58. It was even higher than that. Oh, Santiago, you'd look at a stock, you'd look at an ETF, that kind of stuff. What? All right. Now, I don't know, so I'm going to ask a question. Do you get that kind of information from others on YouTube? Or was that a unique, I don't know, a unique observation of the market? I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't know. So, okay. You guys might follow quite a few people, so I don't know. I want to know where I fit in the world of YouTube gurus. Jeez, what a world, huh? What a world, what a life. They're like, hey man, what do you do? I'm a YouTube guru. Okay, Santiago's the only one that answered, huh? Top tier in my opinion. Right on. Very unique. Thank you, Neri. Yeah, okay, cool. I mean, I don't know. Because if everyone's talking about it, that, then I can try to find something else. Okay. But that's an arbitrage where you would buy American nat gas and sell European nat gas. And then suddenly it's announced to the world that Freeport can resume shipments and chow, you get paid. And so now you're doing a spread, an intra market spread. Right on, Johnny. So Bitcoin trying to recover there, that's a risk on play. That's probably good for my oil. We'll see. Oil still hasn't done its breakout. Remember, 82 is the top, but 90 is next. All right, cool. So let me get this off of weekly and put that back on 30. Did we do the stock market? No, I guess we'll do the stock markets next. Okay. DAX back above the trend. FTSE back testing the trend. Okay. NASI threatening to break. Same thing with S&P 500. So it's just a disaster for me. But all of that is risk on. So you got to make your money doing something risk on. Take a look at exotics. I'm probably being hurt here. I have a slight profit on South Africa. And now we're testing tops and bottoms of recent ranges on peso. I wanted to show you, I guess, on peso, I now have $99.66 in interest, and I have $100 invested. So I've now been paid back my margin. Because remember, that's not something that's floating and one day I'll get paid when I cancel my chart or cancel the order, I get that money. No, the money's already been put back into the account. So it's been now 3 months on that trade, and I'm down to $33 invested. Sorry, 33 cents invested. So imagine I have 33 cents of my money, but I have a $500 profit. Huh? What's my internal rate of return on that? 100 bajillion. So that's kind of cool. That was just something I've been waiting for a long time for us to get to that point where there's no money in it. But I don't think it's 1,500%. I think it's 1,500 times. 15, right? 1,500 magnitudes. Yeah, which is a bagajillion, right? A bagajillion. So anyways, risk on. I don't know how that will favor these things. So we'll see. So I'm just farting around here. These are daily candles on the peso. And you can see, you know, we've been struggling to make lower lows, but not making higher highs. Now we have a higher high and not a higher low, but maybe we're just farting around waiting for the 21, and then the 21 will push us down. Whatever. I don't want to, right? I don't want to get out, because our goal when we took it was basically hold it until we can get that point. And so I got one more day. So as of tomorrow, I will have on that trade, and this is an important, some people get mad when we talk about the peso, you know, right? Well, I'm trying to get different lessons here. If I ponied up $100 in margin when I started the trade, and 3 months later I've earned $100 already paid back into my trading account, then I have no money invested in that trade, but I own an asset. It's like a bond. I've loaned Mexico 10,000 US dollars, and I have no skin in the game anymore. It's just 100% pure profit. And that's interesting, isn't it? Isn't that cool? Okay, and my asset has appreciated to the point where I have 5 times the amount of money I ponied up into the beginning, but now I don't have any money ponied up at all. Yeah, so I'm just, there's a point there, and you could have that as part of your strategy. I want to go back to look at the indices. CAD doing okay today. Kiwi not doing much. All right. Because we have that trade going on, but nothing really going on there. I guess we can look at it quickly. Where is it? Kiwi CAD. Okay, this one just sitting on the day trading zone. So the trade now is supposed to be this. But look at this, like we're climbing below the stairs and we're climbing up the stairs and then we're back below the stairs. And, you know, this is, you know, technically just a modest uptrend. We know it's an uptrend because the 21 is above the 55. Okay. And so the trade plan would be to assume, if you will, that we continue and at some time break. No, sorry, man. We're done with commodities for now. So, I mean, I can't lose money on this. And I'd like it to just, you know, we haven't made a higher high yet, so I can't really lock in profit. I don't want to lock in profit until there's a higher high. And generally, not just a higher high, but a higher low. So I won't move the stop until we see something like a breakout, pull back, and then as soon as this takes off, an ideally higher high, then I can move my stop. How did you execute your trade? I think I clicked that buy button. Okay, but look at this. Up, 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 down, down, buy. And then really nothing's happened since. And hopefully it breaks. Yeah, Felipe, that's what's in play. Yep. So CAD doing okay right now, doing a little bit of short-term recovery. This is a 15-minute chart. Okay. But if it does another leg down from here, so let's say, and this is CAD versus everything, by the way. So CAD could just do one of these today. And if so, that will probably push my Kiwi CAD up. And I get paid. Well, yeah, David, that's how you enter a trade, right? Yeah, how do I execute the trade? Yeah, I had a strategy. Let's go back to it, see if I could work this out. Okay, I saw a higher high. So I look at where the support is. Okay, I look at where the moving averages are. I look at where the pivots are, both on weekly and monthly and even daily. And I look and I say, that's my price right in there. So if, because I don't know it'll happen, but if price drops back to my zone, yeah, then I drop into a 15-minute or a 5-minute. And of course, I'll never get it, but let's take a look. Guess I'll turn these off. Okay. Probably in there. My guess would be something like in here. But David, that's how you enter every trade. Is there the only other way to do it is just drop a limit order? But yeah, I don't know any other way to do it besides there's a limit order, or I mean, that's just how you trade. That's proper trading techniques, right? So I identify on the high time frames at what price I want to buy. Then I drop into a small time frame and I determine what time I want to buy. And that's usually price action. I don't know if you're stupid, David, but you know what happens is generally people don't have a strategy and they're only tactics. So they drop into a 5-minute and they wait to see something happen. That would be stupid. Okay? What I was saying is I knew probably 15 hours, maybe 24 hours before we even got down to this price that I was going to buy it if we got down to that price. And that's where the money's made. That entering the trades are like the easiest thing ever. Okay? That's the easiest part. Because you already know what you want to do and you already know the price, so there's no problem. Right? Like if you look at it on this time frame here, there's no problem. That's just a straight up basic trade. And look where I'm short. A little 5A cross on an hourly chart. I mean, there's no trouble. The value that I created is that I wanted to buy it at that price. Oops, now it's not updating at all. Where's that? Oh, there we go. Boom and boom. So like buying that dip, that's easy. Waiting a day and a half. So it looks like I had to wait 36 hours to catch that trade. But that was easy. And if you don't trade the 5-minute chart, then you do something like this, where you just say, I want to buy it near that central. Now you're done. That's easy. I can do that all day. But the decision, strategic decision, is the value creation. Okay? But again, what most amateurs do is they're only looking at this chart and they're making decisions. And they don't even see the fact that there's no trend in here. So if you're only on a short-term trade right now, you should not be trading this. Okay? Okay? Now you might find there's also a logical reason to buy such a thing. So I can go to my cross-currency pairs, look at Kiwi CAD, and find out based on unemployment. Okay, unemployment favors New Zealand, GDP favors New Zealand, trend heavily favors New Zealand, seasonality favors New Zealand, retail sentiment favors, and check this out, institutional heavily favors. So it's a strong buy for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 reasons. Okay? Minus inflation, minus interest rates, so you get a 6. Boom, strong buy. Currently, we're projecting all the way to, what is that, 88? 88.24 or something in the next week. Cool. So I'm long at 86 and we're supposed to be on our way to 88.24 at the end of the week based on regression channels of the daily chart. Which is a fancy way of saying if you did something like this and you project it out 7 days because you have a slope, okay? So if you continue the slope and the deviation in and take it out 7 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you get, you get something up here. Yep. Okay. And my stop, by the way, just so you can see it now, is I can move it up a little bit more. So I'm going to get out. Well, I have it here, but it's 88.24, right? So I can do this 88.24. Okay, but that's just too close to a top, so I'll put it right back. I don't need the 24 pips. I'll leave those for Buddha. Okay, so what do you think? Smart, right? Right now, I would say it looks like we're waiting for the 21 to catch up. So it's going to be sideways, probably another 3 days, and maybe next week we get an up to 87, almost 88. What do you think? Is that a decent plan? So what we have here is an up, a down, buy. And the next plan is up next week. Okay. Now, I can carry this further. If that's going to happen, then actually my projected top is 89. So if that's the plan and that works, I actually have to adjust, and my target is now here. Okay. And that will take probably all month. So what will happen is, okay, now I have to take this even further. Okay, we have the up, the down. It's going to continue moving sideways and then move up. So we have to change our slope, which I can't actually do. I guess I can try. It won't let me. Come on now. There we go. I'll change my slope to something more like that. Okay. And I'll back up a little bit. And so what would probably happen, in my opinion, with this trade is and by the end of February, we'll hit that. We'll hit my 88 to 89 zone. Okay? David said, so the 5 minutes just for entry and the hourly and 4-hour levels are for strategy? Well, I wrote a book called Strategic and Tactical Forex Trading. Strategy leads to your bias. Doesn't lead to a trade. So you need a 4-hour, a daily, a weekly chart. You need fundamentals. You need whatever. I mean, but it doesn't put you into a trade. It tells you if you're a bull or a bear. And if you're neither a bull or a bear, you're one of two things. A pig, and pigs get slaughtered, or a bat. A broke-ass trader. So, anyways, on the higher time frames, you look at KiwiCAD and you're like, oh my God, look at this freaking thing. I'm going to buy a dip. That's called strategy. Okay, that's it. And then your tactics, yeah, 15-minute, 5, 1, whatever. Right, Dwayne? Yeah, bat. I'm a broke-ass trader. So anywho, that's that. Let's do yens, I suppose. Okay, big recovery day. But we got some interesting things coming up soon. Today's the 26th. So something interesting is going to happen on Monday night. Wait, or no, Tuesday. No, it'll be there. I guess it's Tuesday night. No, Monday night. Probably Monday night. Monday night. If not Monday, Tuesday. On Monday night, the yens are going to move. That's that. And if you want to know more, join the live trading groups. Yeah, I like hourly. I like 4 hour. I like 15-minute. I like 5. They're all good. It's not next week's Fed rates, but yeah, that's important too. But I mean for the yens. I've had that day on my calendar for 6 weeks. So anywho, you have to decide up or down on these things. We have a top and we have a bottom. This one much more bullish than the others. So we'll take a look. And you can see already through. Okay. So the question is, are you in the business of buying dips? So I would draw something like this. First of all, I have to change the chart. Hang on. Okay, cool. Now, the reason that's important is if you're doing price action, that's what you will be buying probably tomorrow. But we're also approaching target. We're approaching target for the week. And it's a cluster of a weekly resistance zone and monthly resistance. So you got to be careful with your Aussie. Maybe too little, too late. Pound, yeah, we just did that. Pound. Kitty cat, is there going to be a recovery here? It says little too early. Okay, a little too early to buy and all that kind of stuff. So yada, yada, yada. All right. Well, I invite you to join FX Bootcamp. It's $88 a year. And then upgrade your account to access the swing trading group, which meets today at 4 p.m. The swing trading group is $99 a month. They meet every Tuesday at 2 and every Thursday at 4. And it's good. So I implore you to join. We have a really good time. The crew is awesome. We have really deep dive discussions. It's not just me saying, buy this, sell that. You should really try it. That's fxbootcamp.com. So again, today we will meet at 4 p.m. For everybody else, I suppose I'll see you tomorrow. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Have a wonderful day. Cheers.